Imagine a city built for 100,000 people. Shimmering glass towers, expansive shopping malls, and perfectly paved 6-lane highways. It looks like a miracle of modern engineering. But as the sun sets, not a single light flickers on in those windows. There is no sound of children playing, no traffic, no life. Just a hollow concrete graveyard. This isn't a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. This is the reality of modern China. And at the heart of this eerie silence lies a name that once meant always grand, but now serves as the tombstone for the largest corporate collapse in human history. This is the autopsy of Evergrande, a $300 billion house of cards that didn't just fall. It threatened to take the entire global economy down with it. Before we dive into the greed, the shadows, and the eventual destruction of an empire, if you find these corporate autopsies valuable, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're deep diving into the world's biggest business failures every week, and your support helps us keep the lights on. Let's begin. To understand the collapse, we have to understand the man behind the curtain. Hui Ka Yan. Born into poverty in a small village, Hui worked his way up from a steel factory to the pinnacle of Chinese society. In 1996, he founded Evergrande in Guangzhou. The timing was perfect. China was undergoing the greatest urban migration in history. Hundreds of millions of people were moving from farms to cities, and they all needed one thing: a home. Hui Ka Yan didn't just build apartments, he built dreams. He realized that in China, owning property wasn't just a lifestyle choice. It was a requirement for marriage, social status, and financial security. Evergrande rode this wave with a simple yet aggressive strategy. Borrow money, buy land, build fast, and sell even faster. By the mid-2000s, Evergrande was a monster. It owned over 1,300 projects in 280 cities. Hui Ka Yan became the richest man in Asia. But while the world saw a visionary, the balance sheets were starting to show a predator. Evergrande's growth was fueled by a dangerous cocktail of high leverage and what some call Ponzi-like mechanics. Here was the cycle. Evergrande would borrow massive amounts from banks. They would use that money to buy land at government auctions. But here's the kicker. They would sell the apartments to regular families before a single brick was even laid. In most countries, this would be highly regulated. In China, it was the norm. Millions of families handed over their life savings for pre-sold homes. Evergrande then took that cash, not to finish the buildings, but to buy more land and start more projects. But Hui Ka Yan didn't stop at real estate. Flush with borrowed billions, he began an ego-driven spending spree. He bought a professional soccer team and spent hundreds of millions on world-class players. He started an electric vehicle company, Evergrande Auto, which was once valued at more than Ford. Despite never having sold a single car to the public, he built theme parks, mineral water brands, and even a health insurance wing. To the outside observer, Evergrande's was too big to fail. To the bankers, it was a golden goose. But in 2020, the Chinese government finally decided to stop the music. For years, the Chinese Communist Party had watched the property bubble grow with growing unease. In August 2020, they introduced a policy known as the 3 Red Lines. It was a set of strict financial ratios designed to force developers to deleverage. For Evergrande, this was a death sentence. They failed all 3 lines. Suddenly, the banks stopped lending. The pre-sale cash began to dry up as buyers got nervous. And the mountain of debt, now reaching $300 billion, started to crumble. By late 2021, the world watched in horror. Evergrande began missing interest payments on its international bonds. Construction sites across China went silent. Cranes stopped moving. Concrete stayed wet. The scenes were heartbreaking. Thousands of ordinary citizens who had invested their entire ancestry savings into Evergrande apartments began protesting at the company's headquarters. Some threatened to stop paying their mortgages entirely. This wasn't just a corporate crisis anymore, it was a social earthquake. The Evergrande moment sent shockwaves through global markets. Investors feared this was China's Lehman Brothers. If the Chinese property market, which accounts for nearly 30% of the country's GDP, collapsed, it would trigger a global recession. The Chinese government faced a brutal dilemma. Do they bail out Evergrande and encourage more reckless behavior, or do they let it fail and risk a national uprising? They chose a controlled collapse. They stepped in to ensure that some homes were finished, but they let the company's stock value evaporate. Hui Ka Yan was reportedly placed under police surveillance. His private jets were sold. His mansion in Hong Kong was seized. The man who once sat at the right hand of power was now a pariah. In early 2024, a Hong Kong court finally ordered the liquidation of Evergrande. It was official. The dream was dead. But the ghosts remain. Millions of unfinished apartments still litter the Chinese landscape, monuments to an era of unbridled greed and the delusion that property prices can only go up. The story of Evergrande is more than just a business failure. It's a warning. It's a reminder that no matter how many stadiums you build or how many billions you borrow, you cannot outrun the laws of economics forever. Gravity always wins. Hui Ka Yan wanted to build an empire that would last for centuries. Instead, he built a $300 billion ghost that will haunt the global economy for decades to come. Thank you for watching this autopsy. If you found this story compelling, please give the video a like. It really helps the algorithm find more viewers like you. What company should we investigate next? Is there a ghost in your country's economy we should talk about? Let us know in the comments below. This was the end of the line for Evergrande. Until next time.